Hola, my amigo friends. Hope you're all doing well today. If you're new to the channel, my name is Daryl, and I'm with my lovely wife, Jennifer. We truly appreciate you being here with us today, my friends. Be sure to follow us on our other social media platforms, mi amigos. The direct links to our other social media accounts are on our homepage in the top right-hand corner, my friends. Be sure to click on them and check them out. You will get unseen footage and pictures that we don't upload to YouTube. So, my friends, I'm really trying to change my lifestyle since we've moved to Mexico. Trying to exercise a lot more, eat even more healthier than what I was before. Although we never did eat a lot of processed foods, Jennifer and I. And now that we moved to Mexico, we eat even less. I don't want to bring my habits from Canada to Mexico. I want to change my bad habits that I had back in Canada. I think as we get older, we start to really think about our life and our health. When you're 20 and 30, you don't really think about those things. At least I never did. Now, the first 6 months that we moved here, when we were in the Bravada with the gym, I was doing really, really well. I was going to the gym every day and riding my bike every day when I bought my bike. But then we moved to the beach, and for about 4 months, I kind of fell off the wagon. I was still riding my bike a fair bit, but not as much as I should have been. And I had picked up my bad habits again of eating junk food. Junk food is in pop, chips, chocolate bars. Not an excessive amount, but I was still eating it. And getting back into drinking a lot more water. I was doing really, really good when we were in Merida. And again, when we moved to the beach, I fell back off the wagon. So we're going to get through Christmas and New Year's here. I'm going to indulge myself a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but right after the New Year, I will go hard to try to lose that 10-15 more pounds, and then I'll be happy. I think if I make some sacrifices for about 2 or 3 months and I drop that 10-15 pounds, I should have no problem maintaining that weight. Or even 4 to 5 months, whatever it takes to drop that 10-15 pounds. I'll tell you though, my friends, the hardest thing I ever did was quit smoking cigarettes, and I feel 1,000 times better since I've quit. Definitely have a lot more energy, can breathe better. Just so much better all around. Not to mention the money that I'm saving. Now, Jennifer and I never really were big drinkers at all back home in Canada, so that's not an issue for us. We would have booze sit in our fridge and cupboards for a year or more and not even touch it. I find we're drinking a little bit more here as it's so cheap and we're a lot more social than we were back home, but not much at all. We'll have the odd social drink with friends when we're out, and a lot of times we will go out and with friends and won't drink anything. Now, I used to smoke weed when I was younger, right up until I was 40, and I quit that when I turned 40. Anyway, my friends, we just want to live a clean, healthy lifestyle here in Mexico. And that's what it boils down to. Now, we've always dreamed about moving to Mexico and retiring. We just ended up fast-tracking that dream, that's all. Many years ago, Jennifer went to university in Guadalajara and lived there for 6 months taking Spanish. And Mexico had stole her heart. Now, I had never been to Mexico until I got married with Jennifer, and she brought me here for our honeymoon. And like her, I fell in love with Mexico and said, why are we not living here? As the years went by, we continued to travel to Mexico almost every winter. We started coming for 2 weeks, and then as time went on, we upped that to 3 weeks. And during that time, we also worked on getting our debt down. And then when Jennifer discovered she could work online and from home, we thought, why not make Mexico our home? It's no secret as to what was going on in Canada for the past 3 years. So we used that to our advantage and started working on our departure to Mexico. In October 14th, 2021, we packed up 3 suitcases each and our 12-year-old Maltese, hopped on a plane, and arrived in Cancun and caught a ride to Merida. Now, I had been communicating with a good friend of mine who moved here over 2 years ago now, and he encouraged us to come and move to Merida. Now, Jennifer and I have never been to Merida. This was our first time in the Yucatan. We've traveled all up and down the Mayan Riviera coastline and once to Puerto Vallarta. So we started to research the Yucatan area, specifically Merida, Progreso, Chicxulub, and the more I researched, the more I fell in love with it. Initially, it was our plan to live in a beach town, but when we got here and started looking at the prices in the beach towns, we figured we can't afford this. All the places that we looked at that was within our budget were not very nice, so we decided to look at Merida. And we did find a beautiful Pravada that we moved into. Now, the problem with the Pravada that we were living in, although we did love it, was the power kept going out. They were still building the other half of the Pravada, and because of that, the power was going out continuously. Also, we learned later on that the north end of Merida, now I'm talking outside of Merida by about 10 minutes, the power grid is terrible out there. They keep building these big Bravadas and big fancy homes, but they've never upgraded the power grid out there. So quite frequently, they have power outages in that area. And that was just not going to work for us with Jennifer's job. We found ourselves driving out to Land's End in Chaberna to the public beach there, which is mostly inhabited by the locals. Now, we had signed a year lease at this Pravada, and we knew that we had to get out. But we also knew that we would lose our deposits if we reneged on our lease. So we went to the beach, driving around, and we started taking down phone numbers of rental properties on our own instead of going to a realtor. And once we did that, we started to realize that we could find property on the beach or near to the beach in our price range. So with that being said, it wasn't too hard of a decision to give up our lease and move on from our Pravada in Merida. Now, we figured what we would save in rent over a period of time would make up for the money that we lost in our lease, and which it did. We ended up losing around 2,200 Canadian dollars. It would have been more, but they ended up giving us a little bit of our money back, which they absolutely did not have to at all. If it wasn't for the power outages, we would have stayed in that Pravada though. But again, it was always our plan to retire in Mexico, and that plan included living near the ocean. Now, although our rental property is not right on the beach, it is literally 2 blocks from the beach, not even a 5-minute walk, and we're on the Gulf of Mexico, which we absolutely love. And our home is a 3-bedroom home with a swimming pool, air conditioning in every bedroom except for one, 2 bathrooms, 2 levels with a rooftop patio. What more could you ask for? I should add, as well as a beautiful carport which keeps the cars sheltered from the elements. Now, we were paying $21,000 for our Pravada in Merida, and now we're paying 17,500 pesos for our house in Chicxulub, which is around $885 US. Now, the only complaint I have about living where we're at is we're a little ways away from the town center, so we have to drive pretty much everywhere again to get groceries and whatnot, and we can't just walk to a coffee shop. I do ride my bike downtown Progreso for coffee on the Malecon, but as far as just walking anywhere, it's a little bit of a distance to walk to go to the store, coffee shop, restaurant, and what have you. It was always our plan when we retired in Mexico that we would live somewhere central where we could just walk to a store to have coffee or to a nice restaurant and have a meal. So Jennifer and I have decided that our next rental property, we are definitely going to live closer to more amenities. I should add that we lived in Progresso for around 4 months, but the house itself was just not a fit for us. Now, that house was 1 block from the beach, and although we did enjoy living there, the home had some major issues that just didn't work for us. One of them was there was no hot water in the kitchen. You had to carry a bucket of hot water from the bathroom in order to do the dishes. And there was no window panes in any of the windows, just screens. So we were losing a lot of cool air from the air conditioners throughout the summer. And on some days, we roasted in that house. Now, the windows had these beautiful wooden shutters, which were absolutely gorgeous, which gave the house a lot of its charm. Though they didn't keep the heat out and they surely didn't keep the cool air in. Now, we already knew that this house was going to be temporary because we were supposed to move into another house, so we were just waiting for that place to become available. So we knew we only had 4 months there. So as we awaited for our other rental property to become available, I had ran into our current landlord while I was out biking one day, and she had asked me where we were living, and I told her, and then she said, "How much are you paying for rent?" And I told her how much, and she said, "You know what? I can match that." See, we had previously looked at this house before, and she had just wanted a little bit too much money for us. And it being 3 bedrooms, we really didn't need that. It was just a lot of house for what we needed for the amount of money, so we had backed out of it, although we did love this home. And when I met her that day and she said she could match what we were paying, we changed our mind with the other property we were awaiting for, and we decided to move into this place we're currently in now. And we did sign an 8-month lease here at this place. Now, our lease is up on April 15th, and it's undecided where we are going to move to. But we do know that we're going to leave the Yucatan to live in another state. We are just unsure of which state that will be as of yet. Now, we've been traveling to the coast of Mexico for over 12 years, and now we've lived on the coast in Mexico. I would really like to try to live inland somewhere. We're just unsure of where that will be yet. So far, we've got it narrowed down to Oaxaca or possibly Veracruz. Now, we were thinking originally Oaxaca City, and then in Veracruz, we were thinking of Jalapa. But again, it's undecided where we're going to go as of yet. Well, my friends, I want to thank you so much for listening to me ramble on here for the last 13 minutes. I truly appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoyed our little story. Now, let's just sit back and have a couple minutes of silence as we enjoy the rest of this bike ride, mi amigos. Well, if you're new here to our channel, we truly appreciate you guys joining us. And to all of our old subscribers, thank you so much for sticking around. I'm going to drop a video in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, my friends. Be sure to click on it and check it out. It would truly help Jennifer and I out a great deal. And if you like our content, as always, my friends, give us a thumbs up, please, and thank you. And be sure to hit that bell notification to get notified when we upload our next video. Adios, mi amigos. God bless everybody out there, and peace on earth. And please be kind to one another. Hasta luego.